We have car park on the back, angle it down to the right, and then start point out there on the horizon, angle is down by the pipe, slap turn over the back, black Beesands there, going across to Dartmouth on the end there, proper husk marks and that down that way, boys and girls, and you can fish well throughout the year really. Welcome folks. So it is the 29th and I'm down on Beesands Beach. The reason I've come down today is southwesterly at the minute, but it's switching around westerly. So as it switches around westerly, as the day goes on, I'm going to be in a bit of comfort fishing. And unfortunately, I would like to be elsewhere, but the conditions on what it needs to be. I mean, I'd have wind straight in my face, and it's one of them really. But nice and easy. Gav's coming down in a bit. So I got down here bright and early to get the spot, and yeah, we just, to be honest, I've not even bothered walking up, I just can't be bothered. So we just sort of like got out of the car, lumbered ourselves straight on the beach, and yeah, I've done my shouldering. So I don't know how it's going to go today. I had a bit of an upset on Christmas Day, and I managed to pull my shoulder out, I think. I don't know what I've done to it, but I've got a massive pain in the back. I mean, on Christmas daytime evening, couldn't sleep at all. Boxing Day, I was pain again. Took some painkillers and stuff, and it sort of eased off yesterday. I thought, yeah, ideal, back at it. But unfortunately, it's, I don't know, we'll see how we get on, but it is what it is. I'm going to go and blast this one out. We've got a sand deal bait on here now. We're running up and over lead, no one on the beach, so I'm going to use a bomb lead. See if we can get this one out and get on to the session. See how we get on, innit? See how we get on. we're having a go, and I forgot my sunglasses unfortunately, but yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? One of them. Didn't think the sun would be out today. Forecast overcast, and the odd light shower up to like midday, and then clear throughout the rest of the day. So yeah, we're in it to win it. We've got sand eel, we've got bluey, we've got squid, and we've got pilchards down here today to try and get a fish out. But I'm going to do some topics. I'm going to put it on silent so we don't get picked up. But I had a load of questions come in. I was supposed to answer them on the first episode of rock fishing. Unfortunately, I couldn't get signal down there. So I had a bit of an hard time with it. So instead of trying to answer and remember some of the questions, I thought I'd do it today. So yeah, we've got hopefully a good day's fishing. There's been a few rays come out, and over the last couple of days, and the colour, it's due to the colour of the water. See, with the colour of the water being murky, it sort of helps it fish better in the daytime. So, and I find that with all ray fishing on our stretch of coastline really. I love to see a murky water, but that lead's slackened right off, so I'm going to have to look at that in a minute. But we'll answer one of the first questions. Here we go. Sorry about that, guys. Right, so I have a question. What is your favourite rig, length and components? That's from Tim Rogers. Okay, so it's for me and Nick, this question. So I'm going to answer it my favourite rig. My favourite rig is the running up and over rig. And I think it's a cracking rig, really. It's a bit of a boat rig, but it enables you to clip it down and cast. And I think that's very important. I love it for rays. I love it for lots of species, really. It just gives that no tension, especially when you're fishing with a bomb lead. And then when they go to take off, the lead sort of like sets it. But it's a cracking rig, and it's by far one of my favourites. I mean, everywhere I get to fish it, if I can fish it, I'll fish it. And the length depends on the tide. So I'll fish quite OCD when it comes to that sort of thing. So when I go breaming, if the tide's running really fast, I'll scale down my rigs to maybe 2 foot sometimes, so you've got 4 foot in the air. If it starts going mid-tide and you've got the tide's not running so hard, I go maybe to a 4 foot rig. And if the tide's not running, I get to like move the bait around properly. Maybe go 6 to 8 foot, depending what ground I'm fishing on and where I'm fishing on. So rigs lengths always depend where I'm fishing. Like here today, I don't want nothing too long, but I don't want nothing too short. So I'm fishing, I would say, around 4 to 5 foot trace, especially with the up and over. So you've got 2.5 foot up, 2.5 foot down. Nice and compact for aerodynamic for casting, and seems to do the trick. So that's that. Components wise, guys, I'm a really big fan of the old school stuff. I know there's been a few different brands come into the market over the years, and I'm not saying they're rubbish in any way. I mean, I think some of them I never really give a chance, and that was down not necessarily because they don't work. It was down to my preference. I like everything, like when I'm doing trace lines, everything needs to be clear. If I'm using wire, then it's a different kettle fish altogether. But 9 times out of 10, I will fish clear traces. Rig bodies, I like the Chameleon. It's a very strong rig body, and I like to use it. So that's the preference for me. Hooks wise, there's loads of different hooks available on the market. I've used a lot of different ones over the years. I'm using Skumas at the moment, and I find them very strong and reliable, and they stand the test of time, guys. At the end of the day, they're a very strong hook.
and you get with the hook what you want out of it at the end of the day. And one thing I would say, there's a lot of cheaper versions on the market, and what I find, when you pay less for something, not all the time you get the same quality. So it really is something to think about with that. But yeah, the Chinus, I'm a very big fan of the Chinus, octopus hooks, the Manta Extra sort of style hooks. Depending what species I'm targeting is the main one for that. And components, I don't think you can beat the likes of Gemini and Breakaway, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I use a lot of Breakaway components, I use a lot of Gemini components. You know what I mean? I've done bits and pieces for both companies over the years, and they're both as good as they are on the component, depending what I want out of it. I mean, I'm a big fan of the implement. But obviously with my swivels and stuff like that, I'm a big fan. I do apologise for wind, guys, but it's turned westerly now, and you're going to have my beach shelter that's basically protecting the sound a little bit. But yeah, it's one of them really. But that is that one there. The second question I've got is also from Tim. I'll answer that one at the same time. When you started casting the pendulum cast, what sort of settings did you have on your mag? Should you start off with mags on fully and a couple clicks off? Thanks, Tim Rogers. So Tim, when I first started pendulum cast, I used to have the mags on. Okay, it helps with birds nesting. A lot of the guys used to call me Captain Crackoff back then. I know a few anglers will pick that name up, just because the simple fact, when I wasn't going to the field all the time, I was practicing when I was fishing, and I don't believe in that, if I'm honest with you. If you're going to go and practice casting, go to a beach with just your rod and reel, or go to a field. I would recommend the sea, because it's a lot easier to bring it back in instead of walking each time, and just practice. Now, it took me many years to correct it properly. I will say properly. I sort of like developed my, because I had like a few different people give me a lesson. I sort of took a bit from each of them. And I had Glenn Baldwin, I had Glyn Bogan, I think his name was, if I remember correctly. Gareth Davis, I had Ian Ford, I had Nick Panther, and I sort of like took a bit of everything with them. And I had a very long drop, and it used to work for me. I used to get good distances. I think my distances improved, if I'm honest, when I started fishing, getting a little bit lesson with Adam. I mean, Adam's style of casting is very easy to learn once you get the hang of it, and it's a simple case of placement of the lead and timing, and if you put every step into process what you're learning, you pick it up very quickly, and it's a very easy cast to pick up. But it's something which in the new year I'll maybe do a series on of each individual stage to that cast. So each week you can go out and you can get the outswing of the lead, and then the inswing of the lead, and then obviously your turn, your foot placement as you're coming round with the timing, casting from outside the tip, not inside the tip. And we can do some videos on that. I think it's one thing we get asked out a lot, and yeah, at the end of the day, if it goes down well with you guys, that's what we're there for, to help people and to catch a few fish. So hopefully we'll see a few fish out today. But I'm going to ring this rod in now, and then we'll see how we get on. Bobbling away now, I'm going to have a look. I'm not going to do it. I felt tension, I can't feel nothing there. It could be a whiting on the end of it, but I'm going to leave it a minute. It's prime bait on there, they're not getting stripped. Normally if something comes along for it, it's having it. And I've had two come back so far, and then fish on two of them. So the tide's starting to drop down below water now. The coloration in the water is absolutely perfect. So hopefully we can get a few out today. You alright, folks? So just set up on the beach here now. Look at this. Just leftover line everywhere. instead of being bothered to pick it up, put it in the bin, all they've done is just left it on the beach. It's just crap. No other word for it, absolute rubbish. I'll put that in my bag, I'll take it home and put it in the bin, but a dog comes along, gets his paw caught in that, you know what I mean? It's just no need for it. It's simple really, isn't it? But I'll put that in the bin, but yeah, it's not nice to see. It's not nice to see. But let's crack on. Just found this as well, look. Rigs, leaders. I can tell by the setup, it's not someone what knows what they're doing. I mean, how they've tied the rig is unreal, but it's just left on the beach. There's no need for it. I'm gonna bring this one in now. That's what we're after. Jesus Christ. Right, there it is. I think that'll be a whale. I think. So, I'm gonna have to set the GoPro up now on my head cam, and then yeah, game on. On fish. Nightmare with this wind. 0. One 8. Snowball. Just going to reply back to Adam quickly. Yeah, we'll be here most of the night, mate, I think. Going to give it a go, see what we get out. But yeah, Gav will be here in a bit, and then yeah, we'll be here by the time you finish work. You want to pop down anyway, just jump in with us. There you go, Mr. Slack. Right, so let's go back to questions, shall we? Back to a few questions. So what have we got now there? Adam Lewis. Okay, Andy, in your Specimen Hunter interview with Nick, you said about your club fishing. If you wouldn't want to pick anybody to fish against, who would it be? You wouldn't get to fish against, who would it be? To be honest, I'd fish if it's specimen hunting. It's a little bit different, isn't it? Because it's a bit different than going and having a match with someone. I mean, to be fair, if you're going to go on the beach and just see who's going to pull the biggest fish out of the day and go on that, you're going to get beaten by most people, I would have thought, because especially at match hunting, it's I've definitely got a bite on that right hand rod, I'm going to have to bring it in now. But I think it's, if you like match fishing, it's all to do with speed and different stuff and getting fish in, isn't it? But specimen wise, it's done over a year. So you would look at it going from a club year, wouldn't you? And I don't think there's anybody I wouldn't want to go against. I mean, I'd like to go against good anglers, if I'm honest, because it pushes you as an angler. I mean, I've done quite well in club fishing over the time I was in, like, going into club fishing. I've joined a club now, but if I'm honest, I'm not going to take it like I was before and weighing like everything in and stuff. I mean, if I catch something what's worth weighing in, like 150, 180, 200% fish, I'll weigh it in. But I don't see the need to go out. It's a weird one with me now, because like some of the fish I used to go after and some of the places I used to go, like the video we just put on for Sailworthy, and I used to live up there when I was younger, because you knew you got a good chance of catching rays, not massive rays, but would I make that effort for the size of the fish I get out now? Not really. I mean, I'd rather go to a place where I've got a chance to catch a 30-pounder and blank than go up and catch a couple of 10 to 14-pound fish. And with club fishing, I think you've got to do that. You've got to keep catching specimens, haven't you? So at the end of the day, it's horses for courses, and it depends what you want out of your fishing. I'd always rather go to somewhere where I know I've got to catching a massive specimen fish than go to a place where I'm going to catch a couple of fish or got a chance, you know what I mean? And it's sad in a way, because that's what my fishing's come to. But I know full well if I'm fishing specimen wise and at that high level where with percentage of fish, that's I can compete at that level, and I've got a good chance of winning. So on that basis, I mean, there's loads of anglers I can think of, good anglers, and you'll see by looking for awards and that on there from past years, and that the guys that are doing it. And at the end of the day, that's where I would want to compete in, and I don't think there's anybody that I would say that I couldn't beat. I mean, on its day or on its year, 9 times out of 10 I'd be up there with the best of them. But it all depends, doesn't it? Because you're not going to do it every time. Like, for growing up, and especially with angling, I think it's the same as all of us. We're men at the end of the day, and you always want to be the best at what you do, don't you? Whether you're playing football, whether you're playing basketball, whether you're playing snooker, whatever you do, it's part of being a man. You want to do well, don't you? Like, Adam's very competitive. Geffin's quite competitive. I mean, I'm not that way with my mates, where it depends. If it's to do with club fishing and you're after that big fish, then yeah, I am quite competitive within that, because if I want something, I'll do it. So if I want a big fish, I'll go and get that big fish. If I want a big bass, I'll go and put time into getting big bass. If I want a big soul, I'll go and do the same. Big brie, big blonde, big small eye. No matter what I want to do, I'll go and do it, and I don't care about the blanks. The blanks don't mean nothing to me. It's all time in, and I think it's one big part of my fishing. So the answer to that question, not really. I don't think. I would rather be up against the likes of good anglers than be up against the likes of someone what's not going to. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I want to have that competition. When I think to be honest, I'm not taking my fishing like that anymore, if I'm honest. As you can see, a lot to do with like the fishing I'm doing now. It's about helping people, and some of the marks that I've been fishing lately and done videos on, people won't even know them, and they're right on their doorsteps, and they'll think it. And I guarantee you, one of the videos, people will think, "Oh, fish stop, is it there? I didn't know that was there." And people just don't know. And it's a knowledge game, guys, is what it is. I know loads and loads of anglers. I can think of a few off the top of my head, which they won't go out fishing, catching fish. They'll wait for catch reports and then go and sit on marks and just fish until they get what they want. You're angling, anybody can catch a fish. Well, I think there's more to fishing than doing that. I mean, next year we'll be doing a lot of fishing around Cornwall. A lot of fishing around up the upper Jurassic coastline, going a bit further up and stuff, going to targets and different species and stuff, doing stuff differently. And I think the main thing I'm doing it for is something different, because I'm bored of doing the same old, I'm going on the reefs, or I'm going down on the rocks, or I'm going down, you know what I mean, I'm doing the same old stuff, and it's knowledge at the end of the day, and it gains knowledge. And I know full well, especially on this coastline now, if you want to go and get a fish, conditions are the main thing. I've got to bring that rod in, guys, I think. I've got to bring it in. Conditions are the main thing. I know full well now, looking at the wind and the weather, moon phase and that's got a lot to do with it, but definitely the weather plays a massive part in my fishing on this coastline, especially for rays. And you can tell whether it's worth going or not, you know what I mean? I can just tell straight away. And 9 times out of 10, you could get somewhere, look at the state of the water, and know whether it's worth staying or not staying. And I'll tell you now, coloration of the water. Down here, you want it like the Bristol Channel, you want it murky, and it will fish, especially on specific areas. Now, there's other areas what will fish in daylight, but you still want the cloudiness of the water, or nighttime. Now, nighttime will always give you the more benefit of it, but it depends on the venue. It's all to do with knowledge and the venue. Same as like the ones we just put on now. We put a couple of rock ones near Plymouth on, and I know full well people will look at it. We caught back in November. There'll be certain people that go right in the cars, straight down there, getting over the mates. And these people aren't the ones liking the videos and stuff. This is why we've done the VIP before. These are the people that are just sitting there and waiting in the background, just looking at where we're fishing, so they can go down and do it. And I don't do videos for that. I do videos to help people, and obviously, hopefully, people look after watching the videos and go away with it and think, do you know what, I learned something from that, you know what I mean? And that's what we do the videos for. That's what I do the videos for anyway. It's one of them. And I knew someone asked me the other day about it and saying, well, we went to Brid every year and at the Euros, and they've seen like how much people enjoy what Sea Angle Adventures do. And what I find is, especially the further up the country you go, we've got a lot of support and a lot of followers up there and stuff. But I think down here, what does it is jealousy in a way. I mean, I remember when I first started to fish the Bristol Channel, the amount of grief and that we used to get going on the marks now. People don't want the marks exposed. And do you know what? It depends. Unless it's for cod or going up for smoothhound, I wouldn't really go up the Bristol Channel now for rays. I mean, I've got better ray fishing on my doorstep. I'm not saying that it's frequent and you get as many rays out. But we got chance to monsters, and that's what I fish for now. And I remember at the time, and I look back now and I think to myself, do you know what, all that grief you used to get, I mean, I've had like loads of grief because of it. And then you suddenly start fishing in different areas, and you're fishing down on South Devon marks, and people get upset by you doing it. And I can see why in a way, because I'm going to have to bring up Ron in, but a lot of people don't want their marks exposed. And I can see why. Look at Wales, for example. Certain individuals just blasting the marks and that all over the social media and charging people for fishing and stuff. And it ruins it for local guys when they want to go out fishing. So it gets in a way where people, they can't go out and fish in evening tide now. They've got to get at 9 o'clock in the morning to make sure they get the mark. If we're going to Wales, we do the same thing. But it's sad in a way, but I think it's the power of social media. It's something what we've all got to live with. And unfortunately, it's the way it is. And there's certain venues where I would hide where I am. I'd get the camera angles to show what we're doing and what we're about, but not give away the simple fact that certain areas we fish, you've got to cast at distance. And the last thing I would want to see is people going down there what can't do it, start getting snagged up, and over time create artificial reefs. What as we're bringing fish into, we're going to get held up. So you've got to think about what you're doing at the same time as helping people. You know what I mean? So one of them. But let's get this fishing. And we're going to have to fish a grip there. We've got anglers turning up now, unfortunately. So I'm going to go through some more questions. So, next one, Adam Sweeney. So, hi Andy. I was wondering what your thoughts are of licences for sea angling within the Angling Trust. Oh, probably. I'm going to answer this truthfully, guys. And I'm probably going to upset a few people here, but it is what it is. I'm going to turn that onto silent just in case anybody phones, all right? But I'm going to use, I don't know the best way to describe it. I'm going to use a sentence from the great Tyson Fury. The Angling Trust can suck my balls. And the only reason I say that is I find it absolutely useless. I've obviously been in club fishing a few years and stuff, and the politics of it I don't try and get involved with a lot, because the way I see it, a lot of people have a lot of problems with certain people within that sort of politics side of sea fishing. But everybody puts stuff down on paper and says, oh, I don't agree with this and I don't do with that. But no one at all gets off their ass and does anything about it. No one does. And I remember going to a meeting with Rich Albones and Stu Norris, and it was down at Brixham Sea Angling Club. We went down, and basically we went down to show our opinions and that on the specimen weights. Now, the specimen weights are a pile of poo. I'm not going to swear, but the way they're set up is absolutely disgusting, and it's been like it for years. And I think, myself, my honest opinion, many will argue, and many will probably agree, but I think there should be specimens weights set throughout the country for one specimen, not different areas and stuff like that, one specimen weight, what we all fish to, okay? So if a specimen weight for a small live, for example, I think it's too low at £9, I think it should be £10. But I do get it, because if you higher that percentage, the likelihood of getting a 200% small live is very slim. So you've got to base it on that. And if you're going to take I don't agree with it, but I do agree with the fact everything should be fair. So you take, for example, a big small live. What are we going to say a massive small live is? Should we say for £13? Or should we say £14? I think we should say £14. I mean, there's not very many small live rays been pulled out the water at £14. And if you base it on £14, then £7 should be specimen weight. Well, the way I work it out here now. Now, a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about here. So basically, when you're specimen fishing, doing club fishing and stuff, everything down here, where a lot of the countries are all done on match fishing and bag weights, but down here we normally tend to run it on basically specimen side. So for example, a thornback ray could be £10. You've got a chance of catching £20 thornback ray. So you have got a chance of it. It's very slim, but there are massive small lives out there. I think £10 set at a correct weight for that. Blonde ray, it's argumentative. I would say 14 which should be a specimen weight. The likelihood of catching a 28-pound blonde ray is achievable, as I fully well know. So I think a blonde ray should be put at 14. Gilt heads, I think, are far too low, especially in certain areas. I mean, it's stupid, absolutely disgusting. The way some areas are just ridiculous. And then if you go to that certain area and catch that, you're getting a 300-400% fish. It's bollocks. Sorry about the language, but I'm just going to say it is. It's absolute bollocks, guys. Rain to start coming on now, but I'll finish my topic and get wet for you. But I feel that's my honest opinion. Many will watch this video and say whether you're right, some will say you're wrong. But unfortunately, we live in a day of an age where whoever's in control of this Angling Trust, the only thing they seem to do for us sea anglers is, they talk about licensing, they talk about other different stuff like that, is a fact of money. Now, yeah, they do a lot for freshwater, they do a lot for coarse fishing, they do a lot for carp fishing, they do a lot for everything else. Sea fishing's very minor, and I do agree, the numbers compared to what they've got to deal with, I do get it. But I, for one, would be happy to pay for a licence. I would be, if it's like 20 quid a year, 19 quid a year, I'd quite happy to pay for a licence to go sea fishing. I would. Okay, I don't take a lot of fish, so I don't do it on that fact. But I would, if it was going to get run properly, I'd be quite happy to pay 20 quid a year. Okay, or £9.99, tenner, whatever it's going to be, I would happy. But the likelihood of it being done properly is zero. They couldn't run a party if they owned a pub. You know what I mean? They're absolutely just useless when it comes to sea angling. They promise you the world, they listen to it, they have all these different meetings, and nothing ever gets happened. Nothing ever happens. And I know, I know, like the Wyvern do very. That's the region of our neck of the woods. They do very well with what they do, and I've seen how hard it is for them. And I mean, I've got friends what's involved in it and stuff, and I see how hard it is for them to basically put things forward and stuff, and they have done. They've listened to stuff we've said, and they've tried to fight the cases, and they have got certain things put into place, but it's very hard for them on their own. But you need someone to step in and say, right, I'm going to control the sea fishing, whoever it is, and this is how it's got to set. This is the rules this have got set, and that's what we need to. That's what needs to happen. The likelihood of that happening is very, very unlikely, because whoever it is needs to do their job correctly and know what they're talking about. It's an hard one, because a specimen weights, if you're fishing within specimen hunting, need to be correct throughout, because people, especially in this day, I know guys will travel from Wales down here. I know guys from Wales will travel down to Cornwall. I know guys will travel to Scotland. I know guys from Scotland will travel down here. It's what we do as specimen hunters, and yes, I agree. Sometimes there's a lot of paperwork if you put a small rod down to £7, but it's fair. Because if you do catch a 15-pound small-eyed ray, you deserve to have a 200% fish. Easy. A 15-pound small-eyed ray is a massive fish. Everything needs to be set accordingly. Like conger eel, for example, you've got chances of catching massive 50, 60-pound conger eel from the shore. You have. The likelihood of the days where you catch them now are getting obviously hard to come by. I am getting wet for you lot here, aren't I? But I've got to finish it anyway, because I've started answering questions. But I was quite happy, guys. Yeah, let me put my jacket on. So the way I'm doing this, isn't it? But yeah, as I said, I would quite happily, but I just don't think it'll ever come to it. I think there's a lot of talk what goes on around sea fishing, and nothing ever gets done. And I think it's to the fact that people like to say stuff and say, oh, I noticed one the other day. We were out fishing, and I won't go into the names who it was about, but it was about a tackle shop, and the guy who runs the tackle shop, and this other guy wasn't very happy with the fact that he was doing certain things and stuff like that, and basically having a bit of a moan about him. So I was like, you've got something to say about the guy, go into the shop and tell him. Don't go out slagging him off to everybody else. Go into the shop and say, look mate, I don't like the way you're doing that, and just tell him. It doesn't. People seem to like say stuff and then just put it to bed and think, oh, it's too much hassle to put that into actions, which I think is unfair. And the other thing is, the main one is, and it really frustrates me, is cheating. I've seen it over the years happen with I'm not going to go into names and that, but I will bring up certain topics, right? But I don't understand how it gets tolerated. I mean, if you get caught cheating within a sea angling club, within a competition, whatever you're doing, you should be red carded from angling. When I say red carded from angling, you should be red carded. You should basically not be allowed to take part in any competitions, never be able to join a club. That's the whole good thing about obviously having sea angling licenses, because each angler would probably have a angling like code, whatever it is, like a login code, and that's what they would be tied to. So when they went and join a club, everything would get tied to your number, a bit like a national insurance number, but for an angler. And they should be red carded for it. They should be allowed, and it doesn't happen. And I'll tell you what, I'll take my hats off to them. There was a competition up the north, not so long ago, caught two guys cheating. They were fishing a match and they had fish ready to weigh in before the match even took place, yeah? And it had been talked about before these guys are doing it. Some guys that thought, I'm not enough, we're going to put this to bed now. Caught them, bang at it, banned them from the competition. And the one thing I liked about it went public on social media, because that is the power of anything, guys, these days. The power of social media is phenomenal. And this is what needs to happen. And they didn't stand for it. They basically said, look, we're not having you cheating, it's unacceptable, and they made a thing of what happened. And you know, that doesn't happen very often. Now, I know guys down here, which I'm not going to go into clubs and organisations and names of anglers, because it's stuff from the past. Okay, but I'm just making people aware of what the type of stuff that goes on. Now, there's a catch and release shore league what gets run down here, and The only trouble with catch and release, right? I'm all for catch and release, as everybody knows. I am all for catch and release, but the only trouble with catch and release is the fact that it opens up to cheats. If someone's going to cheat, it makes it easy for them to cheat. Now, this guy basically weighed in a rockling on a comp, what he caught on that night, given the password and whatever it was, re-edited the video and the photo, and tried to weigh the same fish in on another two different occasions. Okay, got caught out from it, and basically banned from taking part in the event and the club and that again, and threatened the club with legal matters because saying that he didn't do it in that. The evidence was there in black and white, but for whatever reason, the club probably didn't want to get involved in having to get all the solicitors and the financing and stuff like that. Let it be. Now, this guy now, he fishes for. He's an ambassador for a brand. So he's a sponsored angler. He takes part in regular competitions. He's allowed to take part in competitions. He's allowed to join clubs. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. You've been caught cheating and you're still allowed. It boils me. I've seen other guys where they've joined clubs first couple of times out fishing and managed to catch ridiculous sized fish. Now, I think within 3 trips, he's seen 2 dogfish over the 3 pound mark. I've been fishing a long time. I've seen 1 dogfish over the 3 pound mark. So I'm not saying you don't get some big dogs, but the likelihood of that and the other fish was, I think, was a spotted ray, what was a massive percentage as well. And it questions me, because the guy's not been fishing for ages, come back to fishing, suddenly catching these sort of fish, and you're thinking something don't make sense here. You know what I mean? Gets caught cheating from a boat competition, what's been held down here, for freezing fish. The organisation obviously caught him out, said had someone to look at the fish and could tell. You can always tell frozen fish by the eyes, so I've been told. And yeah, was banned from the competition, never to never take part again. He's still allowed to win and take part in clubs. He was still allowed to take part in and win major trophies. Why? This is the question, why? I don't understand it. I really, really, really don't understand it. I mean, if you get caught cheating, that should be it, in my opinion, okay? And nothing ever happens about it. Everybody's like, oh, forget about it, it's not going to happen again, and oh, we're doing like. If you get caught cheating, that's it. That's the way it should be. You're not allowed to take part in any angling again, be members of any club. I find it disgusting, if I'm honest, and I get told about some of the stories what I've heard about shore leagues and that, what have been run with guys catching fish and basically catching a fish and wrapping them in tinfoil, freezing them down, and then unwrapping them through the defrost it ready for the shore league. People catching fish on the Tuesday before, freezing it down. You know what I mean? What the hell? Like soaking fish and stuff like that. I don't agree with it. Okay, but this is gonna because I never thought I would actually say this, but I'm a big fan of catch and release. But if you're gonna fish to specimen levels, everything's got to be fair. And you look at the British records, for example. A lot of the British records, especially rays and stuff, will take on water. So if you basically, a lot of fish don't soak and put weight on in fresh water. A lot of do. So if you take a ray out, you put it in a bucket of fresh water. The enormous in that will basically it causes slime, and it basically makes the fish weigh more. So any of anything what's inside the fish turns to slime, and it weighs. So, for example, I know of guys what have caught 5 pound fish and they turn nearly to 8 pound. I've known guys that have caught 10 pound fish and turned it into 13 pound fish. It's not a correct way of doing things, and I totally agree with that. I think it's not. But the trouble I have with it is, especially a lot of the British records what stand at the moment are soaked fish. Okay, not saying that every single British record is, because not every British record isn't. But I would say at least 50% of the fish what have been weighed in as British records haven't been returned, have been soaked, and they've been, and that's what it's been like through the 70s and 80s, and that's the way things were, whether we agree with it or not. But if you're going to go catch and release, and you're going to go by that, you have to reset as a catch and release. But my honest opinion of it,
Random question. You haven't seen a little ginger dog with a little Christmas jumper on?
I haven't, mate, no. If I see one, I'll give you a shout. Someone's looking for a dog with a Christmas jumper on, so if anybody sees one in the background, be on the lookout. But I don't get it, guys, I really don't. And I feel now that the only way to carry on the specimen angling isn't to go catch and release, it's to go back to how it was. Because, yeah, people are going to get caught cheating, and people are going to carry on doing what they're going to do. But I would say that all the records should be erased or kept as a separate record, and any fish should be stripped down with water, so any of the slime and everything taken off it, and then weighed at tackle shops. Tackle shops should have certified scales, and they should be weighed at a tackle shop, and basically that's the way it should go. Because I don't see it happening anyway. I mean, this catch and release, I totally agree with, but it opens up to cheats. And unless anything's been happening and with the cheats and they're being punished and stopped from taking part in that, they'll keep going. If you make an example of someone and say, right, and they're out, and you red card them, so they're not allowed to take part in competitions, not allowed to take part in joining clubs, take part in anything, then you'll put a lot bigger warning to people who will think about doing it. At the end of the day, if they're gonna, a leopard never changes spots, okay? And if they're gonna cheat, a lot of the times they're cheating friends, they're cheating, you know what I mean? It's not just them that they're cheating, a lot of these guys will go and do it for money. They're cheating people out of money, and especially competition fishing and stuff like that. I think it's disgusting. So that is my thoughts on the Angling Trust. So yeah, maybe you can suck my balls wasn't the best thought of it, but I haven't got a lot of time for him, if I'm honest, guys. I think it's something what's never ever going to change. I think it's very sad that it won't change, but I think people are just set in their ways, and no one's got the backbone to say, look, this is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? If that was the case, I mean, I'm not the right person to do it. I'm not the right person to sit there and talk about politics. I don't know enough about it, but when it comes to like other different things, quotas of fish and stuff like that, the estuaries and all that sort of stuff. I'm a fisherman, you know what I mean? And I talk about what I know about, and yeah, I've just found from what I know of and see about the Angling Trust that, yeah, not for me. But the Wyvern do a very, very good job of what they've got, guys. I think they don't get enough support. They don't get enough people turn up to the meetings. They don't get enough. I think it's only because a couple of guys there will work their backsides off, and I'll give it credit to them because they really do a good job. But unfortunately, they're fighting a no-win battle because they've got higher people up than that, haven't they? And I remember when the Welsh specimen weight of smalleye they were talking about and the spotted getting dropped, they didn't want to know. Why would the guys over there want to get the specimen weight dropped? Because they're catching these specimens all the time and it looks fantastic. They need someone to put a thing and say, right, I'm the organisation for this, I'm organising this, I'm in control of this, this is what's happening, you know what I mean? That's being set like that. People don't like it, whether I agree with it or not. That's what I think should happen. You're never going to get everybody agreeing with everything, but everything needs to be set fairly. Anyway, that was probably a question what I should have answered truthfully, but I'll give my honest answer, guys, at the end of the day. I think that's the only thing I can do. And yeah, we'll answer another question in a minute, but I don't know if there's batteries going to go along with all these questions. But I'm going to bring this rod in now. Let's see if we get something on it. Looks like getting back. So, second fish out. Not beat the second one. First one, 180, a lot smaller, but they'll do. Now I've got my hairdresser wants a few whiting for tea, so I said I'll bring him some. So I'm going to put some in a bag, drop it over to him tomorrow morning. I'm nice like that, but lovely eating, perfect bait as well. So get on it. Okay folks, so it's a lovely day. I can't ask for much more really. I mean, we've had a couple of fish out whiting. I've kept them for my hairdresser because I went, say my hairdresserman. He's a nice guy. He's from it's Wolf Barbers in Torquay, and I've had a lot of hairdressers over the years, but I like going there. It's like a proper gent saloon, as you would. I don't know what it's classed as, but it's. He's always friendly. He's Polish guy, newly started. So if you're on the Torquay area and that, or Devon area, and you want to get a decent haircut, I would highly recommend it. Look at this. No, I'm joking. But no, he asked me yesterday, can I get him some fish? So normally I try chucking them back or using them as bait, but we thought I'd give it a go. So yeah. Biggest 1/8 so far, so we've got a special out for the table.
Do you want to try and see what the fish get?
Pardon me? He come up a minute ago asking about and see the fish I've caught. So I said yeah, but he went running off and he's just come all the way back and must have remembered. So you know, his mum and dad's out at the beach. I'm not going to run up there and ask him if he can be on camera. So I just turned it off. Mr. Slack. What time are you there to? I'll ring you on my break. He fancies his chances down here again. I mean, I like the easterlies, I'm going to lie. Something about the easterlies, I think it blows in. Southwesterlies colours up the water, so you've obviously got a good chance of catching. I mean, for years and years on this beach, I've fished it since probably the late 90s. And really, this time of year now, like January, especially going into January, February, you would never see anybody. The only person I'd ever see really was Martin Loggins. And I used to go up that end. I used to said about it in my last video. It used to be a life raft, the lifesaver ring, chucking the water, someone's drowning, and I used to fish in front of that. And it's the only person I ever bumped into, and I don't think he ever knew it was who I was back then. But yeah, you wouldn't see hardly no one at all. But over the years, people sort of like switch on, and people remember things and stuff like that, and it gets busier and busier and busier. But back then, you would look at it and you'd get bitten off and you'd think conger. You know what I mean? You'd think conger or whitings, depending on what trace line you're using, really. I'm using £100 trace lines to like what I've got there now, because I know I've got a chance of a blonde. And if I'm targeting blondes, I'll use £100 because I've had it before, especially big fawnies as well. Anything over like that £12 mark, really, I don't like to use 80 because there's a chance it can go, especially on those rough mouths. Spotties a bit different. I can scale down a bit for the spotties, but it's one of them. At the end of the day, I'd rather be overkill than underkill because it'll still catch fish. Got a bite on the right hand rod. I'll have to investigate a minute. See there, I've got a 9-foot tripod there, and I've got the rods up, but to get a bit more height, there's a ledge in close, and what can happen as the waves are coming in, it can bury your line. But I think there's more than that out there, because as I was bringing that first one in, the one with the big whiting on, the 1/8, what I noticed is as it was coming in with a line, I don't know if I got that on camera. I'm hoping I got it on camera, but I turned the camera off because I left it in the tripod. Then I went back to it, and as I walked down to the shoreline, I sort of give it a thing, and I felt it ease up through the shingle and start going, and then I managed to get it up and then get the fish in. But the left-hand side rod, as I put power on it, it wouldn't move, and I put a bit too much power and ended up taking the top moving off. But I'm hoping I can try and get that overload before the tide drops down. I'm hoping. You never know. But yeah, going back to Beesands, so it's like, I was just like I was saying to Adam on the phone, it's amazing how things back then to like now, like knowledge, back then you didn't really know about, no one was really targeting spurs. I mean, a big spur back down then was like £5 to £7, and I remember Starrow Bay was one of the only places you really went to target. And I look to the right hand side of me now, guys, honestly, like, I'm going to come with a camera, this is disgusting, look at this. Someone's here last night, I've just picked up a load of it, they've obviously been getting snagged, and they just buried it all, you know what I mean? It's just crap, there's no need for it, absolutely no need for it, just put it in a bag. I mean, what I've got here now, I've got it on the right hand side, I've got a spare carrier bag, and all my rubbish and line and that's all underneath here. So when I go, I need my rubbish, it's all there, it's just not needed, is it? But as I was saying, and I think now, obviously your knowledge sort of develops for everyone, and especially around the coastline, and fishing's changed. I mean, you're seeing species come in which you never normally see, which is always good. And I think it's, I don't know why it is really, I think it's just a part of the lines are bowing out. I'm gonna have to look at this, and I've got the wind coming down. I've got a fish on that right hand side, God, I know I have. So I'm gonna have to bring that in, I think. I don't know if there's anything on it, but I've noticed the odd bounce. Let's have a look. Wait there. Light. I think it was a white one. Dogfish. So I don't know how deep he's took him down. Get a thing to me. Right, the scourger. So what I was going to try and do is get this out. So I'm going to Nightmare. There you go. Dogfish off. Put him back, fight another day. I'll come down if you want. This gorge is perfect way of hopefully enabling you to get the hook out so the fish can go back off. And you see he's all lively. Dogfish quite hard wearing really, but there we go. See if we can get another one out. So I've got a sand eel and a squid bait here now. And that up and over. Let's get another one. Try and get that other rod in now. It's starting to hammer it down, so I'm going to have to try and I'll put you to the side here a minute. Whee! Try and get all my gear in. Hammering down. I won't be wet anymore. It's not very nice out there. My line got caught up under the shingle, so I'm going to try and clear this one now quickly. Right, so just doing the spider itch knot. Anybody wants to see the spider itch knot, go on to Single Adventures page, and there will be a video with me showing you how to tie the knot. It's a knot I like to use for pretty much all my fishing. It's very strong, and it's one of those knots, like the Beesands twist is very, very strong, but if you're fishing over rough ground and stuff, you want to be able to pull out sometimes. And with a Beesands twist, there's no pull out on it. You know what I mean? It'll snap on the line before it snaps on the knot. Where this, it won't. But it's a knot I like to use. I've got fully faith in my knots. I think doing this type of fishing, you've got to. It's one of the most important things, really. If you've got no faith into your knot, when you hit into that fish, you want to bully that fish, you need to be able to know that everything's going to stand up to it. Like there, like so. If I put that down there like that, and cut that there now, and then it's a simple case of putting £100 power swivel from Gemini on the end. I mean, I've loved these swivels. I've had some fantastic fish on them. Voila. There you go, ready for the rig. So, it's time for another sanding. Rain's just calmed down a little bit, which is going to be nice. But, hopefully the white can get bigger. I mean, I'd like to see a 2-pounder. Not much chance of it, but at the same time you have got a chance of it, haven't you? Your baits are in the water, you've always got a chance of it. But and tell you, try and wipe this off for you a little bit, because is that better? I hope so. Always hard filming in the rain. Go. So I'm going to put this hook down through the outside like so. I'm going to put the bead up near the knot. I'm going to tuck it into the cut I've just done on the sand deal, and then yeah, away we go. So I'm going to go for a grip lead this time, just to hold it out there. Hopefully that holds my line out. What I don't want to be doing is having the same problem as I did then with the close in. See if this makes a difference or not. I mean, I've put my 9-foot tripod out there, which I'm going to try and get the lead, the line up over the gut trough there. And then away you go, see if we can get another one out. Well guys, what a day, full of showers, sunshine and a few fish. Unfortunately we fished through to around 9 o'clock that evening, and only whiting and dogfish to show from our efforts. And to be fair, there was a nice little blonde ray pulled out to the left hand side of us, and there was a few rays about. I think there was a few rays caught the night before. It seemed to be a little bit more rougher the night before, and we've just fished wire traces as it went into darkness, just for the odd chance of a spur. But conditions weren't right for it. I think we knew that, but it was just a case of getting out of the westerly behind us. I hope you're enjoying the productions. Till the next time.